Your reality is shaped by what you think, not because it's magical thinking, but because your brain filters the world through the lens you choose. So, what lens are you using? Welcome back, everyone, to Unfiltered Soul Shifts, where we explore the art of living consciously, one thought at a time. Today, we're unpacking the stories we tell ourselves and how quietly we shape every voice, every relationship, every emotion, right? It's a reminder that we are the narrators of our own mind. And the question I pose to you today is, what are you telling yourself? What is that story that liberates you and the story that limits you? We often mistake these repeated stories for facts. And every person carries internal scripts, right? An internal script could be something like, oh, I'm always broke. I'm bad at love. Gosh, I will never change. Bad things always happen to me. These are not truths, guys. They're echoes. They're mental habits that your brain runs like background music that's constantly playing. But here's your power move. Pause and ask yourself, is this a fact? Or is it just a story I'm repeating? Because it's once you start questioning that story that you loosen its grip. Your thoughts also sculpt your neural landscape. Now, I've spoken about how we need to eventually get to a point where we need to rewire our brain. The brain doesn't care if something is true, it cares if it's repeated. And it's our neural pathways that pick up on that repetition, and it's our emotional pathways that find comfort in that repetition. Ultimately, it's neuroplasticity. Whatever you think often becomes your brain's default highway. We've heard this before, right? Well, you are what you think. You are what you consume. It's true. So how do we reroute it? An old story. I'm terrible at sticking to habits. That's one I've also taught, or I've told myself that one in the past. Don't stick to habit. I can't form a habit. I think the saying is repeat something for 21 days and it sticks. I'm terrible at sticking to habits. So a new thought, instead of sticking to that old story, would be I'm someone who can choose a new way today to start that habit, to continue that habit in one little piece at a time, right? So every reframe lays a new pathway, a bridge from fear to possibility, from what wasn't to what is. Now, obviously, speaking like this, it has its own frequency because language has its own frequency. Our words carry vibration, energy flows or follows certain language. You speak positively, your body should start responding and reacting positively. That's the thought behind it, right? So our words do carry a vibration. The words we say to others and the words that we tell ourselves, that story that we tell ourselves. Start noticing how I have to do this starts feeling heavy, while I choose to feels powerful. It feels peaceful, it feels more natural. I choose to do something versus I have to do something. I have to go and train. I choose to train and keep my body healthy. The words we speak become the signals our brain obeys. And the emotions that are attached to it becomes the emotions that we attach to, that becomes norm for us. The words we speak become the signals our brain obeys. So in other words, words like should, try, maybe, It's those words that end up draining our sovereignty. Replace these with I am, I choose, I get to. It's words like that that return our power. That's why affirmations, especially I am affirmations, are, I'd say, popular right now, but they work for a lot of people because it's that changing the wording that carries the vibration. It's turning it positive. Remember, your tongue is your wand. Speak accordingly. Use your words and your tongue wisely. Another subtle shift we can create, which creates visible change outside. So, inner versus your outer shifts, right? You don't need to transform overnight. You just need that repetition. The habits, the routine, choose your language, and the actions will follow. Choose your story, and your posture shifts. Why? Because you become more confident in that story. The language you choose and continue to repeat becomes the norm language for you. Start changing your inner tone, and your life begins to echo it back. An affirmation I've chosen for this episode is I am the author of my inner world. And I've chosen that because it speaks to the inner and outer shift. You are the author of your inner world, and your outer world will start reflecting that. Small shifts at a time. One thing that you can do this week is write down a few stories that you've been telling yourself, right? And beside each one that you have been telling yourself, write a new one that empowers you. So if you are telling yourself, I'm stuck, I am in a loop that's just not going anywhere, and I do not feel I'm moving forward, rewrite that to I'm evolving. It might feel the same, but every day I get to choose and I get to change. How can I do today better? And that is how your world will start shifting, one sentence at a time. Thank you guys for listening. Wishing you a great few days ahead. Hoping you start making your changes. Hoping you catch your story, catch yourself in those moments. And practice the affirmation. You are the author. You are the creator of your life experience. Remember, change doesn't need to be huge. It just needs to be repeated to rewire. I choose, I am. Until next time.